The stars were cold that night, more merciless than any predator I had faced. I piloted my shuttle across the fractured remains of the Zyrran trade ring, the abandoned orbitals a graveyard of old commerce and forgotten debts. That's when I saw her, perched atop a corroded docking arm, silhouetted against the swirling gas giant below. She was defiant, impossibly so, for someone so fragile-looking. Her skin shimmered with a pale violet iridescence, faintly catching the dying light of the nearby star. Her eyes glowed faintly, wide and vigilant, scanning the emptiness as if expecting the universe itself to attack her. I landed cautiously, sensors pinging faintly. Life readings confirmed she was real, live, and desperate. "Who are you?" I called, my voice amplified through the shuttle's comm. She didn't answer immediately. Instead, she stood taller, chest out, and said almost defiantly, "I am Kaelira. I owe no one anything human. If you try to claim me, I will not be easy to take." Her words set my pulse racing. She was dangerous, clearly capable of defending herself. And yet, there was vulnerability in the way she kept glancing at the edge of the docking arm, as if she had nowhere else to go. "I'm not here to fight," I said calmly. "I saw you from orbit. You're exposed out here. You could die. Let me help." Her expression softened just a fraction, suspicion battling instinct. "Help," she echoed. "And why would a human care for me? No one else does." "I do," I said. "Right now, that's reason enough." Kaelira didn't move at first. But then, a sudden flare on the horizon, tracers from Scavenger drones, made her body tense. "They're coming," she hissed. "I cannot survive them." "You won't have to," I said, motioning her toward my shuttle. "Get in." Her defiance faltered. Hunger, exhaustion, and fear won over stubborn pride. She leapt down with surprising agility, landing lightly inside the cabin. Once inside, I activated the shuttle's environmental controls. The interior warmth seemed almost magical to her. She shivered violently, drawing the blanket I tossed over her shoulders. I risked everything to reach this sector," she murmured. "If they catch me, I won't survive." I nodded, understanding immediately. "Tell me why," I prompted gently. "Why risk everything?" Her glowing eyes met mine. "Because somewhere, someone has to see me as more than prey, more than a commodity. I've been traded, hunted, ignored, used. And if I stay hidden forever, I die inside long before anyone notices me." There was honesty, raw, unfiltered, desperate. Her species, I learned over the next hour, had been targeted for centuries by raiders and collectors. Rare, defenseless, and highly valuable, Kaelira's kind had few allies. She had escaped a transport convoy, drifting through space for weeks, surviving only because her instincts and sheer will refused to let her die. "I see you," I said softly. "And you're not a commodity to me. You're alive. And that matters." For the first time, she seemed uncertain how to react. Trust wasn't something her kind had been given lightly. But she stayed inside, breathing the recycled warmth of my shuttle. Over the next few days, we navigated the fractured ring, scavenging fuel and supplies while staying ahead of patrol drones and scavenger teams. Kaelira taught me to interpret subtle energy signals she emitted, bioelectric pulses, a faint luminescence in her skin that allowed her to communicate even when stealth was required. I taught her to manipulate basic human tech, jury-rigging power converters and shield emitters to give her temporary protection. Trust grew slowly. She never relaxed entirely, but she began to cooperate without my insistence. Her defiance remained, but it became something else. confidence, precision, and intelligence working together to survive. One night, as we rested inside a partially intact orbital docking bay, she finally spoke. "Human, why risk yourself for me?" she asked quietly, the violet glow of her eyes dimming to a soft, contemplative hue. "Because it's what humans do," I said simply. "We protect. We survive. We help each other when the stakes are highest. It's not complicated. And you are worth it." Her pupils widened. "Worth it. You survived when no one expected you to. You fought when no one could. You're not a burden, Kaelira. You're remarkable. And that's worth protecting." The Scavenger drones found us sooner than expected. As alarms blared and external thrusters hummed, Kaelira's glow intensified. Her bioelectric energy pulsed with defensive power, enough to interfere with sensors, short-circuit drone circuits, and obscure our location temporarily. But the fight was not over. Several mercenaries boarded the station, intent on capturing or killing her. I stood between them and Kaelira, improvising barriers and using whatever tech I could to fend them off. Through it all, Kaelira moved with lethal grace, striking when necessary but mostly relying on her energy pulses to confuse and disable. She trusted me to protect her, even as she became a formidable force in her own right. Finally, after hours of combat, the intruders retreated. Kaelira collapsed against the wall, exhaustion etched into every graceful line of her body. "You," she whispered, glowing faintly. "You could have left me. You didn't." "Why?" "Because you matter," I said. "And because someone finally should." For the first time in centuries, Kaelira's glow softened, warmth spreading not from her bioenergy but from trust. Her eyes, which had seen betrayal and abandonment, reflected something new, hope. Over the next weeks, we repaired parts of the station to make it habitable. I taught her how to maintain power systems and navigation controls. She taught me about her species, their subtle energy communication, their need for acknowledgement, and their instinct to survive when ignored by all others. Through cooperation, companionship grew. Our bond was not romantic yet, but it was profound. Trust had been built in a universe that often offered only betrayal. Kaelira no longer flinched at my movements. She no longer hid in the shadows. She had survived, thrived, and for the first time allowed herself to feel seen. One night, as we gazed at the distant starfield through a damaged viewport, she spoke softly. "Human, I risked everything. I thought survival was all I could hope for. But," her glowing eyes flickered brighter, "I have learned that being seen is more than survival. It is life." "Yes," I said. "And you are seen. Truly. And you matter." Her luminescence pulsed softly, almost like a heartbeat. "Finally, someone sees me. Not as prey, not as a tool, not as nothing, but as someone alive." The galaxy continued its indifferent spin. Mercenaries roamed elsewhere, and countless species remained blind to the struggles of the few. But here, in the fractured orbit of a dead trade ring, Kaelira had been given acknowledgment. She had risked everything, not just her life but her dignity, her trust, her future. And in doing so, she found one human willing to stand with her, recognize her, and protect her. That small, profound connection, something that would be invisible to most of the galaxy, was enough to change everything. I realized then that survival alone was never the ultimate goal. To live without acknowledgement, without trust, without someone recognizing your worth, was no life at all. Kaelira's defiance, courage, and survival had brought her here, but my willingness to see her as someone valuable made her existence meaningful. And as she leaned against me, eyes closed in peaceful rest, I understood why she had risked everything. It was never just about survival, It was about finding someone to see her for who she truly was. And in the cold, unfeeling void of space, Kaelira finally found that human.